Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Alexander Isak absence explained as Liverpool striker left on bench in qualifier. The risk of suspension from Sweden's World Cup playoff semi-final meant that Alexander Isak was left out of his nation's 1-1 draw with Slovenia on Tuesday night. Sweden endured a dreadful World Cup qualifying campaign, failing to win any of its 6 games and finishing at the bottom of its group with just 2 points. However, the Swedes' success in the Nations League, winning its group in 2024, meant that a spot in the playoffs for the World Cup was already assured, irrespective of what happened during the qualifying campaign. Liverpool striker Isak did not figure as much as he would have liked during Sweden's 6 group games, with injuries and a lack of match sharpness restricting him to just 2 starts, both of which came during the October break. But his absence from Tuesday's game between Sweden and Slovenia had nothing to do with his physical state, but rather because he is 1 yellow card from an international suspension. Considering Sweden's game against Slovenia was effectively a dead rubber, with both teams having failed to secure a top 2 spot in their group, Sweden boss Graham Potter chose not to risk Isak picking up another booking, which would have seen him miss the playoff semi-final in March 2026. "It's not an ideal situation," Potter said. "You don't want players who go on the pitch and can't be aggressive. You're not yourself then." Sweden will face either Italy, Ukraine, Turkey or Denmark away from home in the one-leg playoff, and we'll find out which one it is when the draw takes place on Thursday, November 20th. As for Isak, he will hope to be involved when Liverpool meets Nottingham Forest in the Premier League on Saturday. Isak has not figured for the Reds since he picked up a hamstring injury during the 5-1 win over Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. It has obviously been frustrating. "It's never fun to be injured," Isak said of his fitness issues after coming off the bench during the second half of Sweden's loss to Switzerland last week. "It's probably most frustrating for the player himself when you feel like you can't be there and have an impact, but I try to be positive and now I'm healthy. I feel like my body was good after the match." Darren Bent believes Gareth Bale-like star will accept $85 million Liverpool transfer. Darren Bent has called upon Liverpool to pursue Bournemouth sensation Antoine Semenyo, viewing the Ghanaian as the perfect long-term successor to Mohamed Salah. The winger has elevated his game to new heights this campaign, establishing himself among the Premier League's most potent attacking threats. Semenyo's tally stands at 6 goals and 3 assists across 11 outings so far this term, and several teams, including Liverpool, are now being linked with him. A brace of those strikes came against Liverpool on the season's opening day, as Bournemouth temporarily drew level in proceedings. Semenyo embarked on a stunning solo run from deep before beating Alisson for one of his efforts. Despite manager Andoni Iraola witnessing numerous departures during the summer transfer window, including Milos Kerkez's switch to Liverpool, he managed to keep hold of his Ghana international star. Reports suggest Semenyo possesses a £65 million, $85.5 million, release clause that becomes active during the opening fortnight of January. Liverpool feature among the interested parties alongside Manchester United and Tottenham, who are all contemplating potential moves, though Bent believes Semenyo represents the ideal candidate to inherit Salah's mantle as the Reds must plan for the future. The ex-striker said on TalkSport, "He has exploded out of the traps this season, and he just looks really comfortable in himself. Every game you see him do something and you go, oh my goodness, he's one of those rare players, and I call players like this unstoppable. Gareth Bale was like that. When I talk about unstoppable, I'm talking about their attributes. When Bale started to move, you just couldn't stop him, and Semenyo is the same. Once he gets going, he's going past people, and he's gliding. What's good about him is that he can go both ways. I think he's got the full package." For so long now, Liverpool have been able to depend on Salah on that right-hand side, season upon season, and don't get me wrong, he's been one of the best players we've ever seen in this country. But the signs are that he potentially maybe is slowing down a fraction. Now, all of a sudden, you have to start addressing both sides. The Cherries have succeeded in maintaining their position amongst the top 4 throughout much of this season, despite witnessing several key players make their exits. Dean Huijsen's displays secured his transfer to Real Madrid, and Semenyo might be eager to challenge himself at such an elite level. The Reds could provide him with that chance, while Bent suggests that the Bournemouth talent may consider himself equal to Manchester City's Jeremy Doku. "I think he, Semenyo, would go to Liverpool. I think he can get into any top squad," he added. You're still going to get more than enough minutes, but it depends on his ambition. His ambition might be, get me to Manchester City, I'm better than Doku, that might be his mindset. Liverpool and Arne Slot urged to activate cheap Antoine Semenyo release clause in January. Liverpool has been urged to activate Antoine Semenyo's release clause during the January transfer window. It emerged earlier this week that there is a clause in the contract which Semenyo signed with Bournemouth earlier in the summer, which would allow him to leave during the winter window for a £65 million, $86 million, fee. Semenyo was courted by a host of top clubs over the summer but ended up staying at Bournemouth, and has enjoyed a remarkable start to the season, registering 6 goals and 3 assists. Only Erling Haaland and Igor Thiago have scored more goals than Semenyo since the season started, and former Premier League hitman Charlie Austin thinks that Liverpool would be wise to try and sign the Ghana international in January. It sounds mad saying it, but going on the market and how everything is, absolutely it is cheap. You can go back to the goal that he scored that opening Premier League night against Liverpool and the performance he put in. He gave Milos Kerkez a real big problem, scored the goal, it was a fantastic performance by him that night, and then he's continued that form all the way through the start of the season. Look, I think £65 million is a snip to get him. And the biggest thing is, he's only young, he's progressing. The way he's performing week in, week out for them, he has made himself Bournemouth's talisman. Sky Sports reported on Monday that Liverpool, Manchester City, and Tottenham are all monitoring Semenyo ahead of a possible January swoop. Tottenham was also interested in Semenyo in the summer, as was Manchester United, but both clubs ended up signing different attacking players. Speaking earlier this month, Semenyo said that he was happy to have taken the decision to extend his contract with Bournemouth after being asked about speculation surrounding his future. I don't think about it too much, Semenyo said of transfer links. I try to stay present as much as I can. You see the news all the time, I see it as well, I'm not oblivious, but I try to keep focused. I'm enjoying my football here. If I'm not scoring goals, all of that goes away. I try to stay present, do the best I can for the team, score goals, and whatever happens in the future happens. Bournemouth sold a host of first-team players in the summer, as Milos Kerkez, Dean Huijsen, Ilya Zabarnyi, and Dango Ouattara all moved on, but Semenyo stayed put. When they, his former teammates, all left, in the summer, there was a lot of interest and back and forth with the club, Semenyo recalled. But I knew in my head that the manager's got something up his sleeve this year. How we finished off the season last year was so good and we could continue, especially with the players we've bought in as well. I wasn't too sure at the start, but we've kicked on like a house on fire. I'm glad I committed to staying here because I'm enjoying every moment.